Hey guys, in this episode, I'm going to explain to you how the return on investment triangle works. Too many people spend too much money on deals that they really shouldn't be pumping money into. They will do the good deal, they'll do a good deal and buy it, and then they'll overspend on the refurb or they'll overspend on some aspect of improving the property when really they shouldn't. So in this episode, I'm going to explain to you how one little triangle, a little triangle that you plonk three numbers into, can help you to avoid the biggest pitfalls in property refurbishment and indeed property investment. So in a previous episode, what I said was I would explain how if you buy £100,000 property, just to keep the numbers simple, more often than not, you shouldn't pay for a £5,000 refurbishment of that property. Now here's a big reason. People in their head say, well, I've paid 100 for it. What's another £5,000? It's just 5% more. No. It's 20% more because the £100,000 property, you've only put £25,000 of your own money into it. So if you put another £5,000 on top, that's because you've got a mortgage and the bank is paying the other £75,000 if you've got a 75% loan to value mortgage. But if you put £5,000 into a refurb, that's your £5,000, 100% of it. So it's actually an additional 20% on top. People don't think like that. They think, oh, it's just 5% more. But it's worse than that. Let me explain why using the return on investment triangle. You've got to imagine a triangle here. You've got a number at the top. The number at the top is the amount that you're considering investing. So let's just say that this £100,000 property is going to rent for £600 a month. Decent ROI depending on what the £100,000 property is actually worth. So it depends how much you've actually put into it. But let's just assume £100,000 property is going to return you a rental, a gross rent of £600 a month. But if you pay £5,000, perhaps you put a new kitchen in, perhaps you put a new bathroom in, perhaps you change some of the carpets, give it a lick of paint, depends how good your refurb teams are and how economical you are. You can actually get £650 a month for the property. You think, oh, that's well worth it. You know, £50 more a month over time, that's going to be fantastic. It really isn't because of the ROI triangle. So you've got this triangle and the top number, you draw a line across the middle. The top number is £5,000 as a possible investment that you're trying to decide whether or not you should make. In the bottom left corner, of that triangle, you're going to put the increase in monthly profit as a result of that investment. So we had £600 a month without doing anything, and we had £650 a month if we invest £5,000. And so the increase per month based on that investment of £5,000 is £50 per month. And then the final corner, the bottom right hand corner of this triangle is, and there's a multiplication mark in the middle because you can actually cover that and work out what the other numbers are, but let's keep it simple for now. If you want me to delve into how this works, then pop a comment below and I will happily do another expanded episode with my flip chart explaining the maths behind this. But the bottom right hand side is then just a product of the others. So we had £5,000 with a line across, that's the divide line. £5,000 divided by the monthly profit, the monthly increase in profit, £50, gives us an answer of 100, and that is 100 months. So just think about this for a minute. In order to recoup our £5,000 investment, we have to wait 100 months. £50 a month times 100 months gets us back our £5,000. And so the person that goes, oh yeah, that's a great investment, it's just 5% more than the £100,000 purchase. No. It's just 100 months, that's 8.3 years recurring, 8.3 years to get my £5,000 back. In what universe is that a good investment? Nowhere is that a good investment, because that £5,000, if you spend that on multiple properties, after 5 properties, that's another deposit. So you could actually be buying more properties and getting an even better return on that money. And so more often than not, it's far better to not do a refurb on a property and just rent it for slightly less. I've even done deals with tenants where they've put new kitchens and new bathrooms in if they're handy and if they want a really low rent. You just come up with a schedule of work. You say, look, you've got to paint a bedroom every month and we'll drop your rent by £25 a month, £50 a month, £100 a month if they're going to do enough works. Now there's pros and cons to that, but I'm giving you the principle of not spending loads of money refurbishing a property. 100 months, 8.3 years. What happens in 8.3 years? You have to spend it again because it's been wear and tear. It's been decreased in its shininess and its niceness. So actually, if you want to keep it to that 10 out of 10 condition, you'd spend £5,000 today, you'd spend £5,000 in another 8 years, you'd spend another £5,000 in another 8 years, and you're continually out of pocket by that £5,000. And so my top tip from this video is use the ROI triangle before investing anything in a property. If you're looking at a nice shiny front door and you can go for a £500 front door or a £750 front door, think to yourself, let me just use the ROI triangle, the extra £2,500, I'm putting that at the top. What will this get me in rent additional each month? Actually, none. Okay, zero. What's my return on investment? Forever. Let me not get the nice shiny door. Or how much will this bring me in? Well, if I knock down this arch and turn the kitchen diner into a beautiful open plan living space, that will be amazing. That will cost me £10,000 to put the RSJ in. This is going to be great. And you look at it and you go, that's only actually going to bring me in £100 a month. So we've got another 100-month ROI there. Is that really worth waiting 8 years to get that 10 grand back? Or shall I just market it now for tenants, get the rent rolling in, go buy another property and put the 10 grand into the deposit on that one? 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, it is the best thing to do. Use the ROI triangle, guys. It's a phenomenal resource. If you've enjoyed this episode, if you'd like more quality, sophisticated property investing content from me, then hit the notification bell, click the subscribe button, and I will see you on an episode soon. In the meantime, happy investing.